Welcome, everyone, to Real Talk with My Homies. I'm your host, Jake Wardrip, licensed real estate agent with Homepage Realty. Today, I'm joined by Josh Odeezy, a.k.a. Josh Odeezy. Did I get that right?
You did.
All right.
You did.
Josh is a content creator on multiple platforms, runs an online collectible store, live streams on Twitch, Fanatics, and eBay. He's been doing this for about 5 years, everything from the Pokemon packs to high-end sports cards. He can do it all. Also, shout out Jamie. He is my favorite Fisher Homes rep's brother. Jamie's no longer with Fisher Homes, but she was my go-to with Fisher Homes. So coincidentally, I actually did not know that you guys were related at all because I didn't know your last name. So small world. But how are we doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing good. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, no, it's fun, man. I've seen your stuff on Instagram for a while. I've enjoyed it. I'll be candid. I don't tune into the lives because I just don't. I don't have enough bandwidth to, I got stuff going on myself, play video games at night, have fun. But I'm a collector. I enjoy the
Sweet.
The art, the hobby.
Yeah.
So in honor of this episode, I went out yesterday, bought some slabs. All right. So we're gonna play a game of did Jake overpay or did Jake underpay for the slab?
And you were saying you paid sticker price on these,
I
right?
paid sticker price. Okay. I did not negotiate. I wanted to see based on sticker where we're at. So the first one up is a base Prism Brock Purdy rookie card. So I'll
Base
that
Prism.
Base Prism. Hand it over to you and kind of tell me about it. What did I do good? Did I do bad?
So this is a Brock Purdy.
Yes.
Base Prism PSA 10.
Yes.
Which is nice, but I'm always deathly afraid of a base. Now, having it in a 10 is a plus. I would say market-wise, you probably did okay. This was stickered at $60. Being a PSA 10, you got to think the grading cost alone is
25.
half of that cost, $25, $30 all in. I'd say you probably did okay. I think the 49ers had a down year.
Yes.
So there is potential for some up. But it is scary with the base because the pop report is heavy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they're just cranking cards out now.
Yeah.
So, all right, number 2. We have, I'll let you do this one. Tell me what we
Victor Wembanyama. Nice. I think actually is a really nice time to have Wemby or to buy Wemby or to look at Wemby with his injury and all the different
Season's
things.
Kind of winding down. So
yeah, the Spurs hadn't had a good year. He's out. And this is a PSA 10. This is a non-rust optic Victor Wembanyama. Again, base. So the fact it's a 10 is a plus.
Yeah.
But the pop report can be scary. Now, this is optic, which won't be near as heavy as Prism. So I like it. I think 45 is decently fair.
Like you said, again, another $25 for grading.
Yeah. And now if we were going to go through it, there's ways to look at comps and different things to really determine the value. We could.
Yeah, we're just flying off the cuff. You look at this stuff way more than I do.
I think that feels reasonable.
This one is my favorite because it has the highest ceiling and also the lowest floor.
Yep. And Mr. Zion Williamson, also a 10. Look at that. Now, what's funny is, I don't know if you know this, Wemby just surpassed this Zion Williamson card as the most graded card at PSA.
Really? During COVID, I made a small fortune buying the base Zion Williamson rookie cards, sending them off to get graded. Don't know how. They were all coming back as 10s. But then I would just sell them. So I buy the card for, I think the average price was around $40 that I was buying the card.
Yeah.
Ship it off for $25 to get it graded. And then, gosh, I don't even remember what the price was back then, but I mean, $40 now feels like a steal where it could just bottom out to nothing.
Right.
If he loses some weight.
I mean, there's potential he could really, if he went to a new team or anything could change his outlook,
Yeah.
But overall, he's still a really liked player.
Oh, absolutely.
People still, like you said, collect Zion. Or if anything, it's a memory of, hey, when I got back into this, Zion was the biggest card, biggest chase.
It really was. Yeah, I mean, it was Zion and John Morant, and then now I think Jaw's obviously gotten back to true form.
Yeah, and he's had a roller coaster ride too.
But Zion is not lived up to the hype.
Right. And it's funny looking at these guys. Wemby and Zion, to me, are in that hype class or that hype level. And Purdy was, too. He's not anymore. So Purdy's like kind of a little different than those two in the sense that he's not as not as hyped in the hobby world as he was. Like
I tried to find a baseball. I tried to do one of each sport, but I couldn't find a baseball that I really couldn't live without. And I was like, Then I ended up I saw the Zion for 40, and I was like, you know what? Let's just. This is a good conversation piece.
Skeens for baseball would fit this.
They didn't have anything in a 10 for Skeens. Everything that they had in stock was a 9 or just raw.
Yeah,
and they had a whole catalog of Skeens cards, so I could have picked whichever one I wanted. But I was like, I don't. I'm just when I buy them at the store, I just want to buy slabs. Like I just want to buy something that's got, a value that I can then hopefully.
And the condition, you don't have to guess.
Exactly. It is what it is at that point. So. I also bought a box, but I know you brought boxes as well. So you are the guest. You get to decide which route we go.
Well, we open yours first.
Okay.
We have to see what's in the Prism because this is Prism retail, which a blaster box for Prism is really cool because it has unique hits. Mm-hmm. It's not like there's cards that are in these boxes that you can't get in the hobby boxes or other boxes. They're blaster exclusives. The red Prism comes to mind as my favorite one.
Yeah.
Being a Falcons fan, Michael Penix.
That's a good one to get.
If you find a red Prism, they're extremely rare. I don't think it puts odds on the boxes, but they are very rare, very hard to pull.
Yeah. Would you say Prism is one of the premier products to get?
Prism is the king at the moment. As far in things shift and change, but Prism started back in 2012. Mm-hmm. And then now, 10, 11 years later, they're doing or I guess more than that now, they're doing their anniversary Prisms that are in all the sets and stuff like that, which is cool. But it's definitely the licensed product right now is Prism.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see Josh in action.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. Let's
do you have, I could probably get it open. Say a box cutter.
No.
But I could probably do it.
You got this.
I'm used to all the tools and things,
Yeah, we're back to old school.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this.
Yeah, this is so in a blaster you get 6 packs. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Autos are pretty rare to pull out of a blaster. Generally you can still hit them.
For context, I spent $50 on that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that sounds about right. They retail for around, I guess $30 is normal retail, maybe 35 depending where you are. So for it to be 50 in the market, it's really not too bad, really.
Yeah.
When you're thinking about pricing. There's our silver first, Corey Dillon, silver, which is usually the first, or usually 1 silver per box.
Yeah.
So we get 5 exclusive discos and 1 silver. So
let me ask you this: how does your knowledge, while you're opening, how does your knowledge of the sports help you?
It does a lot because, like football, I'm very comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I open things I'm not very comfortable. For example, the guys want me to open hockey like crazy.
Yeah.
And I just don't know hockey at all. Like I know Sidney Crosby or Ovechkin or some of the top 5 players.
What's the new guy? God, we sound like horrible.
Connor McDavid.
Yeah, McDavid.
I know nothing about him. I know the name a little bit, but so it's different when I open football, when I know football very well, follow it extremely closely. Even baseball to an extent. I don't follow that closely.
Yeah. I think baseball's very regional. They're I don't follow the Seattle Mariners. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Let's see what we got. Disco, DeAndre Swift.
Yep. Old Detroit Lion. Current Bear.
Yep. Eagle for a little bit, right?
Yeah, he was an Eagle for a little bit.
Daniel Hunter.
Come on, pull something
Donnie
good.
Mitchell. Mr. Puka Nakua is a nice card. Not his rookie card.
Soon to be retired.
But a Puka Nakua.
Said he's cashing out at 30.
Is he?
Yeah, he said he's
30.
He said he's hanging him up at 30.
What? That's crazy.
I don't know. Maybe, I guess cost of living in Hawaii isn't as much as everybody.
Oh, here's a rookie. Here we go. Now we got a chance.
All right, we got something.
It's a Baltimore Raven, not the right rookie. But Devontae Walker, rookie Ravens. It's the disco.
Yeah, there we go. It's got some color.
Orange disco prism. And let's see the last one. Should have one more disco.
How about like a Caleb Williams auto? Can we just get that?
That would be awesome. Rookie silver, which 2 silvers in a box, only guaranteed
there
1.
Go.
That's nice. This is actually a variation silver. Not quite the guy you're looking for either, but Latu, not bad on the variation silver. That'd be a couple bucks.
Sweet. It's
a pretty card. And then Derek Carr behind him for the Saints.
All right. How much did we lose?
I mean, I mean, you know, honestly, I mean, there's not a lot of hits here, and
Yeah.
that happens with retail a lot. You know, for $50, there are cards here you could, you know, way extra money, 100 times your money. Um, but yeah, this was not great. I would say a few bucks at most, probably under $10.
Yeah, throw them in a sleeve and just sit on for 10 years and see if somebody comes.
There are a few rookie base cards, but the key is you want to hit the quarterbacks.
Yeah, and that's a question I had for you is when it comes to collecting.
There was a Brock Bowers base. I forgot about that.
There we go.
That's
how did it almost felt like it happened overnight where it was like no one else matters now besides the quarterbacks.
Yeah, and it's yes and no, because for some folks, some people just want to strictly dollars and making money. And some people want to collect. Some people do a little bit of both. Some people like to prospect, and some people, you know, however you want to do it. There's levels to it. You know, if you play the receiver game, some people, I know people that collect pitchers in baseball. Traditionally, pitchers don't hold near as much value as hitters in baseball.
They should hold.
But look at Paul Skeens,
yeah,
and his market is incredible. So it, you know, it really depends. It is football speaking. The receivers, running backs still hold a little bit. You know, Bijan Robinson, not the best running back in the league. He has a pretty good market. He went to Texas. He's got a good market, you know. So there's other positions, but the quarterbacks definitely, and this year specifically, is arguably the best quarterback class in the last 15 years.
Yeah,
arguably.
I'd say the only comparison would be the Joe Burrow class.
The 2020 class, yeah. In the card world, those are the two big ones.
And I feel like, and that's kind of around the time I feel like maybe the focus on quarterbacks really shifted. Was, can we blame Joe Burrow for that? I mean, I love Joe Burrow. I have a helmet sitting right next to me of him. Like, I love Joe Burrow, but is he the problem?
I mean, a little bit, but you also, you know, you had Jamar Chase shortly after. And he has a nice market too. So there's certain receivers, you know, Chase and Higgins are great examples. Chase has a really good card market. T. Higgins does not.
That's wild to me. Is that you look statistically, and if T. Higgins played the whole year, he would have had, and I'm not a Bengals fan, but I do love watching their offense play, because who doesn't love a good offense? But if you put T. Higgins in 17 games, he has a better year than Jamar Chase.
It's possible. It's definitely possible. I mean, I think there is a difference. I mean, look at what they just were paid. There is a difference in their salary. I think there is a little difference, but the gap in the value of their cards is much wider than the gap in their contracts, or the gap in how the team sees them.
Yeah.
So in any given day, Higgins could outperform him easily.
Since we're talking football, who do you have as a collector or investor, however you want to differentiate yourself? Who are some guys be on the lookout for that maybe are not the household names of your Caleb Williams, your Jaden Daniels, your Bo Nix, your Jalen Hurts? Because I have a boatload of Jalen Hurts cards that I just shipped off to PSA because they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And Jalen's a great example. I mean, typically I like to stay in the quarterback range.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I would say investing. You know, I'm a Falcons fan. I like Michael Penix. Do I think he's the best investment right now? Probably not. His market's still really relatively high. He's not as expensive as Jaden Daniels, but you know, I'd say there's potential for him to be that. But in his own right, he very much sells very similar.
Yeah,
to Jaden. That's just kind of a homer pick for me. Now I don't necessarily collect them. I collect some more like Bijan Robinson is one for the Falcons. Just somebody that I enjoy collecting.
Yeah. Anybody else in football you can think of?
I'm trying to think. I was gonna mention Jordan Travis just because he's off the radar. He's really cheap. He was a quarterback. He was hurt last year, Florida State quarterback.
He's with the Jets, right?
And he's with the Jets. If he at all comes back healthy, you know, I'm sure you can buy his stuff for almost nothing right now.
Oh, it's a problem.
If he ever shows a sign of going to even attempt to play, I think he would get a little boost, and you could see some gains there. But
that's a sneaky good one.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right. So we started this maybe 2 episodes ago. We're going to do it again. We're still workshopping on the name. I had the guy on the last episode told me that they're called Icks. All right. but I'm 37. I can't use the word ick because I'm not in my mid-20s, and it just sounds weird having a guy in
Coming from you.
having a guy in his late 30s use the word ick just doesn't
I'm
work.
right there with you. So
Yeah. All right. So this is things that annoy Jake more than they should.
nice.
All right.
Okay.
We're still workshopping the name.
Now, are this hobby card related?
No, this is just something in the world.
Okay.
So we did. What did we do last time? I can't remember what we did last time, but we've done 2. This will be the 3rd. All right. So this is people who name their cars. I'm sure we all know somebody who names their car.
My mom.
All right. All right, Mom, stop listening for a minute. All right.
Okay.
Just tune out for the next minute. All right.
Yeah. We'll let lashes just stay in the garage.
Yeah. All right, stop it. It's weird. We all know it's weird. Somehow you just don't. All right? With respect, Mom. It's not a pet. It's a Honda Civic.
Yep.
All right? You shouldn't name your microwave. It's the same thing. It's a tool to accomplish a task.
Yep.
Do you give your stove a name? Do you give your microwave a name? No. People that call it lightning, no. Unless it's super satirical, where your car barely even starts and you call it lightning, I can maybe get behind that.
Yeah.
But it takes you 10 seconds to hit 60. Your car's not fast. It's not lightning. Naming your car is not going to stop the robot uprising. Now you just know what to call your robot before it takes over the world. Just knock it off. So your mechanic or its doctor doesn't care if it's named Betsy the Buick.
Nope.
Tell me where I'm wrong.
Nope.
It's not a Disney movie. It's a Camry. All right. We don't need personality. It just needs an oil change. That's all it does. They already have names in the first place. This is my last point. We'll move on. They already have names. They're called models. Camry, Focus, Altima. That's their name. It's not Steve. All right. That's my. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk.
I can think of I have friends that name their cars. Now, one of friend is probably because he has several, and it's not like they're he just likes automobiles and things, so he has names.
Yeah, we went to
almost like his children.
I went down to Kentucky. I think it was on a visit when I was in high school, and back then Rajon Rondo played at Kentucky.
Yeah,
and he's a local guy. Everybody knows who Rajon Rondo is. I've heard he's not the greatest of teammates, but he is a phenomenal person. Does a ton of work with kids and just phenomenal person. But when we went down there, he had multiple cars, and they all on the license plate said Rondo 1, Rondo 2, I think he had 3, Rondo 3, and it wasn't anything special. I think maybe he had an older Mercedes or something.
Yeah.
So it was, but that was always interesting when we would go by and oh, that's the basketball dorm. And you looked and you see 3 cars with Rondo. On it. You're
That's definitely a recruiting perk from way back in the days.
Yeah, I wonder how that worked out.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got to pay some bills, so we got to do an ad read. All right. At Cardinal Moving, a local moving company since 2014 with over 3,000 Google reviews, they specialize in making your move as smooth and stress-free as possible. Their team of clean-cut and professional movers is dedicated to handling your belongings with the utmost care and efficiency. Visit their website at cardinalmoving.com or give them a call at 502-599-2661 to get a free quote. I had a client just use them 2 weeks ago. So shout out Mark if you're listening.
Nice.
He just bought a house, used them, and forgot to tell him that I sent him. So come on, Mark. All right, softball question. Not literally, but figuratively. What got you into streaming?
So when COVID happened, I had a lot of time on my hands, and I was at home like everybody else.
Yep.
Working from home, and all day long I just watched streams. I didn't really watch TV. I didn't put on movies or whatever. I just put a stream on the TV while I worked. Mm-hmm. And I just got to desire that. I was like, I really just want to stream. It would be fun. Why not? What else are we going to do in this time? And so then I bought some things and bought some stuff, and that was what I wanted to do. I just wanted to stream, and whether it's video games or whatever it was, I just wanted to stream.
Did you do the video game streaming for a little bit?
We did.
What'd you play?
We played Call of Duty.
Yep.
Which I'm terrible.
Low hanging fruit.
I'm terrible. Fortnite, I'm even worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but I was in the Madden League, and I did a couple things with Madden, basically streaming those games and stuff. And really, the first goal is to become not even partner, but I can't think of the name, but it's
affiliated.
There
we go.
Yeah, and that's kind of the first goal, is just to be an affiliate.
Yeah. What? So I know you got some stuff there. What type of stuff do you open on stream?
So on stream, we open literally everything, and a lot of times it's surprising because you would think when you think about sports cards, most people probably think baseball.
Yeah.
Some people might think football. I personally like football a lot as far as collecting goes, and then there's basketball. But really, we open more F1, Game of Thrones, some Pokemon. We used to do more Pokemon back when, but we still do some Pokemon now.
Kind of cater more to what the audience wants.
Sort of. There's a pretty lucky for us. There's a good release calendar, and they're both all card companies are good at putting out new products, new releases, and that keeps things fresh, as well as still doing things traditionally with Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's almost nothing we don't open.
I've seen a big push of the WWE stuff over the last
WWE's
month and a half.
big.
Did you do that? Anything with that?
Yeah, the license just kicked in for Topps with WWE. So Topps has had WWE before. It's re-released. And basically, I mean, WWE is, along with UFC, both being pushed and very heavily integrated with Topps and Fanatics, which for me is very cool because I can also have some of those opportunities to integrate and even some of the UFC fighters. I know it's not WWE, but and WWE, those guys are on live streams opening cards and doing things in the hobby, which is very cool.
Yeah, it feels like WWE has been catapulted to everything possible.
I watched WWE on Netflix last week for the first time in like 15, 20 years.
My daughter loves it. We watch it all the time. I enjoyed it as a kid. I enjoy the stories now. And it really is. It's just it's a soap opera for men.
Yeah.
I mean, they're at all time, in my opinion, they're at all time storytelling right now.
And you don't even, and also in my view is like you don't even have the greatest characters ever that are involved. Cause and maybe I'm just attached to the younger me, Stone Cold, Undertaker, and I guess they're still kind of involved.
Yeah.
But those new big superstars, they do exist, but it doesn't feel the same. And maybe because we're getting old, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It's doing that well, and they don't even have as big of stars as they probably used to.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, there's our generation, the D-Generation X.
NWO, I mean, all that stuff was all.
There was a whole generation of kids doing the chops in middle school. There's a whole bunch of kids that got detention.
I got lots of trouble for doing wrestling things in life.
They very much should not have done.
Repeating what they say, absolutely cannot do that. Yeah.
What are some of what's probably the coolest moment you've had on stream?
We've had a lot of cool, a lot of really nice pools. We had
what's the best pool?
The one that sold the most is there's a few things, but the one that always sticks out is out of Jamar Chase. Gold is called a Kaboom, and they're numbered to 10. And I remember it so specifically as we were opening a box of Absolute Football, and there used to be 3 mini boxes, and a mini box is, I don't even remember the price, but let's just call it $100 per mini box. And we did a filler to get into that mini box, and the guy paid like $18 and hit at the time a $16,000 card.
Oh my God!
From $18, and at the time it was like we had never hit one like that. We were still.
You just like shut the whole thing down. We're like, okay, what do we do?
And it's 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and we're just like, what is going on? How did this happen? And it was cool. They actually got in touch with Golden, and we did a whole like conference call and how do we move this card, ship it, and the whole situation. So it was cool.
Where was the guy like located?
He was in California. And
I don't think I trust $16,000 being shipped.
We did. But it went to PSA, got graded, went to Golden. I think it was Golden. And it got sold, I think, privately back then.
Gotcha.
Golden.
I probably would have just driven.
I mean, it's. I told him, I was like,
for $16,000, I either would have driven. If I was the winner, I probably would have driven to pick it up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, where are you located? All right, it's gonna be a journey, but
I'll see you there.
See you in a few days.
I've yet to hand deliver a card. We've definitely talked about it and thought about it with certain ones. We hit a Roberto Clemente that was it was a knob baseball knob off of one of his real bats, authentic, and they had a cut signature of his. That was a really nice card. But we've talked about it, but we've never actually hand delivered a card or had anyone actually come get it. We end up trusting the UPSs of the world.
I mean, they've got, they have insurance. So I get it, you're covered, but
still, if you had a claim, and I couldn't imagine.
I don't want to talk to somebody in a call center with UPS over a lost package for $16,000.
Yeah, and it's funny. I think about it too, and you think about the customer and the individual card, and obviously it's extremely important, and you would never want anything to happen. But if I think about the sealed cases and boxes that we have shipped in and out with absolutely no insurance, no protection, everything of how that stuff moves, and then it almost doesn't feel as daunting.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it can be a lot to move a card like that.
So I've always, just to circle back on the boxes you have in front of me, how does that work? Do you buy them from the manufacturer? How does all that work? Do you get preferential treatment on pricing or preferential treatment on access to supplies? Like how does that dynamic work?
Yeah, so it's changed a lot since we've grown our company and grown our business a little bit. And in the beginning, it was buy from wherever you can for as good of a price as you can, but really you weren't getting a good price. And I didn't know it at the time when we started out. We were getting actually quite possibly the worst price possible and buying some things. And you learn the hard way.
Yeah. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, but now we're partnering with Topps. We have a direct account with Topps. We don't have a direct with Panini, but we have a few distributors that have Panini products that offer it at the allocated pricing and stuff like that. So yes, we get certain product. Topps is the best right now. Working with Topps is kind of been the best thing for us because just the product availability is key. Whereas Panini products, we're hoping to get a case.
Yeah,
we want a case. Sometimes it's hard to get a hold of one case, and with Topps, we're afforded several cases for almost every release.
So what's the most expensive box you've purchased?
We purchased a soccer Eminence box that was very expensive, and a case of Flawless football. I think it was $22,000. I think.
Oh.
For the case, the soccer Eminence, I forget the price. It might have been a $24,000 box if I remember correctly.
And so, do you sell options into that box?
Yes. Now those I specifically didn't open on stream because we do a lot of, if you would call it wholesale, or a lot of selling the product sealed.
Gotcha. So
sort of to make money, pay the bills, etc. But if we could sell it on stream, that would be ideal. That's always the best.
I don't need to know numbers, but just we'll make up numbers for conversation. You buy a box for $22,000 from Panini, you can then sell that box for $25,000 or $24,000.
Yeah,
you collect the spread of whatever X is.
Yeah, and you look at the fees and all the other stuff that goes into it. But yeah, if we sold spots in that box, it would probably be like, now I would do it by player, and players might cost $5, and you figure out which player you want to go after, and then whether it's bidding or on an auction on eBay or something like that. Or you could still do it by team. We traditionally do most by teams, but when it's that expensive, it's hard. And there's only 10 cards in the box.
Yeah, because what if the people that, what if you don't sell it? What if you don't sell a spot? And, how do you...
And that happens sometimes. We have a WWE break that's open right now that's been going for about a week or so, which isn't normal. Normally we post a break that day, and that night it runs and we open it, and then we sort and ship it, and it's over at that point. But there's times it doesn't sell, and sometimes we have to, whether it's discounted or come up with creative ways to fill the spaces in the break. And that's what makes it fun too sometimes. Being creative and having fun with filling the break in itself.
I think that's why I'm so interested in like the card breaking and stuff like that, is because the players are your product, and it's such a variable value. 1 week they're worth this, and like you said, Victor Wembanyama goes down with a blood clot, and all of a sudden maybe his stock drops a little bit, and it's like, okay, now we can kind of buy the dip because we know it's going to come back up. But I find it so fascinating that, like, you run a small business.
Yeah.
You legitimately run a small business, and I don't know if all the breakers view it that way or not. I've seen some, they just do it for the love of the, not the cliche, but for the love of the hobby.
Absolutely,
But you can ethically make a lot of money.
Yeah,
and also immorally make a lot of money too.
Yeah, we started just by I just enjoyed it. I love sports. I've always loved sports, and that was how we started opening anything. Pokemon was first, and I loved Pokemon when I was a kid. But we just did it because we enjoyed it, not necessarily, to make money or to live on or anything like that. Now it's grown into that, and we very much run it like a business now. But it's still, I still been very conscious of putting the business too much out there. I don't know. I probably tell too many things to the guys in the stream, but I try not to make it as business. It doesn't feel like a business. It feels like we're hanging out is what I try to go for,
No, and that's great. I mean, I think that's when someone tunes in, what can they expect from you?
Yeah. I mean, really,
how many people are there? Like, how long is the stream?
Usually, now when we're on Twitch, we'll usually run about a 6-hour stream.
Mm-hmm. So roughly. That's a job. I mean, that's a job.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we're on at 9 p.m. and we're off. Sometimes we're off earlier, but we'll go as late as 3, 4, 5 in the morning. And that's just a nature of being on the East Coast time zone. We have a lot of West Coast customers, and it just kind of works where everything kind of peaks in at 11 o'clock or midnight Eastern time. And that works for us. Doesn't work for everybody, and it's definitely had impacts on me personally with sleep and all the other stuff. But that's when you tune in. I mean, the first hour we're talking about events. We're looking at some grades we got back, or just really just catching up more than anything. And then
how many days a week do you stream?
I mean, really, right now we're on somewhere almost every day, but specifically to our Twitch stream, it's usually 2-3 nights a week. 4 when we're busy, 4 nights a week.
All right, we're starting to run out of time, and you got to roll. So you're the guest. You get to pick. We can either open up some more product, or we can watch the Ashton Hall video that's gone viral and react to it. It's your choice.
We should watch the Ashton Hall video.
All right, let's watch the video.
I love opening the products, but I don't know if in the podcast form if it's the best.
I'm sure it will. All right, let's get this tuned up so that you and I can watch it. Jeff, our producer, is going to put this on the screen right now. Jeff, 3, 2, 1. All right. So we've got this guy wakes up in the morning and super well organized drawer, by the way. Hold on.
Way more organized than
before we get started, we got to have a drink.
Oh, do we have?
Yeah, we got to have.
Oh, look at this.
We got to have some product.
Is this the same? Is this the actual?
It's the same. This is the actual one.
So how did he? Well, we'll get to it. Wow, sparkling water.
So Saratoga sparkling water.
So this is what he dipped his face in.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I mean, not this exact one.
Yeah.
Like,
a version.
We got to spill. Be careful opening it.
Yeah, you got to watch the cards.
Forgot it was carbonated water. All right. Rinses his mouth with it. 4 a.m. goes outside, does some push-ups.
4 a.m. Think about a 4 a.m. wake-up call. That's insane.
Goes back inside. This is what I love. So meditates for 2 minutes.
2
minutes from, 2 minutes. Then he journals for 2 minutes. And then reads for like 2 minutes. And then my favorite part, which is actually the most relatable thing of anything out of this, is he watches TikTok videos for like 45 minutes. If we're being honest, it is kind of like the most relatable thing that he does.
He probably is trying to depict, if you were writing something down, does it really take 2 minutes? 1 minute? I don't know.
So
that's cool.
Now we get to the part where he dumps his head in the water for a couple minutes. Hold on, I gotta get
face plunge.
We gotta see what this is all about.
Now I will say I don't normally love sparkling water. Let's see how this one is.
I'm not a sparkling water guy.
See how this goes.
That's terrible.
It's not good.
I'm not a fan of carbonated water. I'm gonna drink it again, but
I mean, I almost feel like we should have brought the ice in the bowl to take a dip.
We should have. Yeah, we should have started the podcast
taking a dip into the bowl just to get right.
All right. He gets ready. He does his workout.
I mean, the guy's in phenomenal shape.
Oh, absolutely. I
mean,
don't know what he's training for, but
it's just Instagram, and he's just
mission accomplished. He's done whatever he was training for. He did it.
Did it. I mean, you watching him run is insane. Look at him on the treadmill.
Yeah. Goes out. This is my favorite part. He goes out to the swimming pool, and
nice
boom,
guy.
he jumps in. If you notice, he jumps in at 7:36. He hits the water at 7:40. So he's just floating for 4 minutes. I don't know if that was an editing error, if it was done on purpose, whatever. But he jumps in the water at 7:36 and he lands in the water at 7:40. So the man is Superman.
For 4 minutes.
For 4 minutes, he's just floating.
Nice.
So I will say he has incredible manners. Always says thank you.
Yeah.
But
get the towel,
According to, I'll pause real quick. According to Jeff, our producer, I was talking to him before the show. The guy, I guess if you zoom in and you clear up his watch, it's like not even close to that time. Like it's just the middle of the day. I guess the time's wrong.
Well, I mean, you got to think. So, he's doing this obviously for content.
Absolutely.
And it's really like it's wild the amount of views that a video like this has. I looked at his profile the other day. I was like, holy crap, there's so many views on this type of video. And it's the short, quick editing and the way it's done, in which me as a content creator, I just think about it so much as how often we overthink of what to put out there and what to make, what to create. And he's like, it's not the right time of day on his watch, but the content, it's piece part of it doesn't matter.
Oh, absolutely.
It's wild to think that obviously, he's putting that together, and his account has went crazy, really.
Yeah, I think I find it always interesting. That's part of, just to circle back to why you're on. That's why I enjoy having content creators on, because I like to kind of like what goes through your head while you're doing that stuff. Like, I think there is a lot to pull from, not to circle back on WWE, but a lot of the things that they do has been implemented in other sports. Like they are on the forefront on quite a bit. If you remember when they first did the XFL, they had that camera on the strings.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first to ever do that.
Right.
The NFL, I mean, that's normal now.
Yeah.
In college or the NFL, but they were the first one to actually do that.
Yeah.
So the long camera shots now that WWE does, they'll do these things where a car will drive into a parking lot down below the arena. They'll get out. It's all one take. They'll walk all the way in. The camera will follow them all the way out to the
live crowd.
The ring, to the live crowd. And it's like things like that. Just you start to see it in other avenues as well. So that's another reason why I enjoy the WWE so much, is just their ability to kind of be on the forefront of what catches people's attention. And something like that, I noticed right away. I'm like, that's really cool. How can I do that?
Yeah. How can you emulate that in what you do, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So, all right, let's finish this thing up. We got our shower. Now comes another one of my favorite parts. He rubs the banana.
The banana on the face.
The banana on the face is wild.
That's interesting. I can understand if you dip your face in and you're waking up, I get it. I don't know about the banana piece.
The banana, I don't know. Somebody
be a skin thing, maybe.
Yeah. Somebody tell me what's the benefit of banana on your face. All right, 9:06. We've got our second
looking at it, bro, we gotta
ice
go ahead
water
and get
bath.
At least 10,000.
We got to get at least to 10,000.
And
that's the viral moment that everybody seems to like as well. Is just the one-liner of we got to get it to at least 10,000. We have no idea if he's talking about money.
I didn't expect to hear his voice. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we didn't know if we were talking money, calories, pounds sold, pounds. I hope not pounds.
Who knows?
But yeah, he's got a phenomenal chef too. The eggs and the bacon just look incredible. I'm not an avocado toast guy, so that didn't really do it for me.
But what friend is doing him the favor of being the chef? Or do you think he really has a chef?
I think he hires somebody.
You think so?
He has enough people on social media that I think he actually does do pretty well for himself.
I think so, yeah, for sure. Now,
I don't think this is like a facade that like he rented a car on Turo, and then he also saved up money to rent a penthouse or whatever.
It could be fake news. Who knows? I read that he got evicted of the place he shot at or something like that.
Yes, that's what.
I don't know if that's true.
Before we started, Jeff had said that as well. That his he got evicted because I guess there's a no sharing policy when it comes to the key. So he gave his key to a buddy. I guess maybe he went out of town or something. Okay. His buddy stayed at his hotel or his room.
I see.
But he got evicted for that.
I see. Yeah, no, I think he's definitely well off now. And really, I mean, you think like I watched he had one video pinned to his profile, and I just watched the beginning of it, and he talks about betting on yourself, and it really rings home as what he said. I was like, he's right.
Yeah.
You know, like he bet on himself, and whether it's as silly as it is, dipping his head in the water, he's doing pretty well.
I don't know what that does early in the morning. I'm sure it does something beneficial.
It's got to kind of jolt you. It's kind of like
maybe it's just like it's kind of adjacent to the cold shower.
Yeah, basically,
just a more convenient
just
option.
Quicker, I guess. I don't know.
More efficient.
Yeah.
So, all right, we've got our last question of the day, and then we'll give you the floor to kind of how can people find you, what we got going on in your world, so to speak. So, I'm excited to share my partnership with Senior Family Solutions and their Easy Equity Loan Program, a game changer for sellers looking to maximize their home value. This loan allows sellers to tap into their home's equity with no upfront costs, covering everything from contractors, coordination, invoices, all paid at closing. Whether you're downsizing, upgrading, or simply preparing your home for top dollar, this program makes renovations seamless and stress-free. If you're ready to take advantage of the opportunity, contact me directly or visit seniorfamilysolutions.com to get started. All right, with that being said, the Senior Family Solutions and their Easy Equity Loan Program question is, from our last guest, is water wet?
Is water wet?
Water wet.
Absolutely.
Absolutely wet. All right. Why?
I mean,
because he got all scientific-y.
I don't know the science, but I know
he was a college swimmer, so he was
okay. So like, he's definitely
he's like, from a science standpoint, it's technically not wet unless you've got like one water molecule is not wet,
but several.
Well, he apparently is way smarter than us.
Water molecules. If you get a little splash, or as I've experienced recently, a little baby spit up on your shirt, and then it feels wet.
All right.
Absolutely.
Your job now is to give me the question for the next guest. You don't know who they are. You don't know what they do. You have no idea what industry they're in.
Ooh. Man, that is a tough question.
Gotta come up with something.
For the next guest. What? I don't know. Gosh, I don't even know. Is water wet is a good one because it makes you think a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It can be related to your industry. It can be related to your life. We've say questions in the past of, you grab a dozen donuts from the bakery. What are you getting? To who's your favorite artist?
I would say who is if we're going to be sports specific.
Okay.
Who is the best quarterback in the 2024 NFL draft class?
All right.
Who will be the best? Who will have the best? Let's rephrase. Who will have the best 2025 season? Who is going to be the best, the top of the class?
All right. Who will be? We'll just say who will be the best quarterback in 2025
from the 24 class.
The 2024.
The six quarterbacks: Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, or Drake Maye.
Perfect. We will ask that question. I hope and pray they don't even follow football. I just want that. Want that.
That's probably going to be the case.
All right, Josh. Seriously, thank you. This was awesome. This was fun. How can everybody find you?
Where are you?
All that good stuff.
We are on Instagram at Josh Odeezy _unlimited on Instagram. We're in our Discord, really, is when we do a lot of our discussions. If you're interested in cards or that sort of thing, the hobby, discord.gg/Josh Odeezy. We're on Fanatics Live at Josh Odeezy. We're on eBay at Josh Odeezy. And we do have a Facebook page, but we don't put a lot out there at the moment on Facebook. So Josh Odeezy _unlimited.
I don't know if I've ever seen your stuff on Facebook.
It posts to Facebook. We've run ads on Facebook.
Does it work?
Yes and no. We're trying to figure out how to make it work, but yeah.
Even in real estate, I don't have a lot of success with Facebook ads.
We get a lot of clicks and a lot of traction.
A ton of clicks,
a lot of traction. But the whole point is to sign up on Fanatics, and we're struggling to get signups. We've had 139 over the last, I don't know, 4 months or something.
I've always heard that a lot of the algorithms don't like it if you're trying to redirect people to another site.
Absolutely.
So it may throttle it down. But again, how do you fix that? You can't fix that.
If you, I guess, spend enough on the ad, I guess they'll do it.
Maybe. Money talks. So, all right. Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Awesome, dude. This was really fun. it's been a long time in the making. I know we tried to do this a few months ago, and scheduling just didn't allow it. So I'm glad we were able to finally do it. So
cool. I appreciate you having me.
It was fun.
Thanks. Very cool.